Excited for the spring. I can just kind of run down the way it's going to go briefly. Is we're going to play 2 real quarters. We'll split up in an orange team and a white team. Coach Sataki, Coach Baldwin will be on one sideline with a bunch of the young coaches. All the other 7 full-time assistants will be on the other sideline. It'll be a 2 quarters of full game, a 10-minute halftime, and then the 3rd and 4th quarter will be 15-minute running quarters. So it'll go fairly quickly, but special teams. The only special teams will take place will be the PAT field goals, and it'll just be the holder, snapper, kicker will go out on the field and execute the kick, and if it's good, it counts as 3 points. If it doesn't, students, fans, a lot of participants will have opportunities to put points on the board with a lot of different activities that are going on for the spring game. So it's going to be great. Our kids are excited to compete, get into that environment. It's very, very, very important for our kids to get in front of a crowd and play. I think that is one of the most important things that could take place with this young team in spring ball as a whole, and especially towards here the end of spring ball. Today's practice was a good practice. It was the offense's best day. We threw the ball very, very well. Went through the individual drills and the Skelly drills, which was great to see. We threw the ball. I would say average. What it got into the team, but we did have some success down the field, and some playmakers showed up today on offense, which was great to see.
How do you plan on developing the teams for this big game?
Well, a little controversy in the coach's room. We're going to try to keep the units together. So we're going to try to keep the kids that we feel that are core numbers in that offensive side and on the defensive side together for the most part. A young man that's maybe a little bit not 100% right now, we'll put him on a team so he gets just a few limited reps depending on where he sits within his progression of getting back on the field. So there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of dynamics, but they'll be broken up. The quarterbacks are not really on a team. They can play they'll be in a different colored jersey, so they can go on either.
Will they be able to, is it totally live, will they be able to be hit? Or
quarterbacks won't be hit. No, we went through the first 3 weeks of spring with that, and that was good. We needed to get it, but I don't foresee something that's going to make us drastically better because we tackle the quarterbacks in the spring game right now when we've been as aggressive as we have been. We'll buzz around them close. We'll tag them off. It's not going to be a 4-yard magical barrier around them that nobody can get around, but we will not be live on the quarterback, but everything else will be.
How important is that just to keep that physicality all the way through the end of spring ball?
It's very important for us. That's just where we are as a program. We're harping hard daily on getting stronger, getting more physical, becoming a tougher football team, and I told him today I think we've made strides in those areas, but we still have to continue to work. So being physical in every practice, just like today, could have easily taken the pads off them the last week of spring ball. A lot of people do that. That's where they are in their program and where they're moving. But we're moving forward from a physical standpoint, and we'll keep those pads on again on Thursday and get after it again.
Are you happy with what you're seeing out of your quarterbacks as of now?
Today was their best day, and Coach McGivern is a tremendous coach. I think Coach Baldwin and Kevin work great together. The young men are extremely invested. I watch them in their meetings, I see their demeanors. The offense seems kind of gathering around them a little bit, better and better and better, and that just comes natural through the progression of being a young quarterback and being around your team. So we're moving in the right direction. Happy. I don't know if I'm ever really happy, but this time of year, but hopefully we'll progress to that.
How much does it help that Richard Mullaney has kind of come back and really it seems to be getting more reps the last couple of days coming off that elbow injury?
Richard brings a level of calmness to the whole offensive team. He's proven to make big-time plays and big-time moments in this conference for the few past years. And the young kids know that haven't played, and the older kids know that have played with him. So he's a good player, and he brings a calmness to the offense, which is great.
How similar is what Coach Baldwin did at Colorado State and to what you did at Wisconsin last year? Is it kind of a mesh, or how would you describe the offensive philosophy?
Oh, I'd say the two offenses that were at Colorado State and what were at Wisconsin a year ago are very, very different than what we're doing now. Okay. This offense is much like we did at Utah State when Coach Baldwin was with us and Coach McGivern was there. So those offenses are dramatically different than the one we're running today.
How has Brent Vanderveen's transition to tight end been going, and just what does it mean that he said he basically had a couple choices, and one was to switch positions, one was to transfer, one was to stay at quarterback, but he chose to make the switch?
Well, he wanted to be here, which was great. We wanted him to be here, and I think sky's the limit on the direction he's headed. You know, he's a week ago right now he gained 13 pounds, so he's probably already gained 15 or 16 pounds. He catches the ball. He's a smooth runner. He's not afraid to be physical and get his face up in there in the blocks, and he's going to gain momentum. You know, it's a lot to say very early, but I'm very, very optimistic that he's going to be a quality tight end in our program as we move forward.
Can you talk a little bit more about the quarterbacks individually and what has really impressed you about them?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I really want to break them down individually. I'd say, you know, they're, again, as a whole right now, I think they're as a whole. So rather than break them down individually, I think it's more important to say what have they done as a unit. The athleticism is a little bit different between the three of them, but I think they're learning how to play within the spread, whether it's Marcus, whether it's Seth, whether it's Nick. It doesn't really matter. They're using their athletic ability to the capabilities that they have. Their throwing abilities still are definitely moving in the right direction, but I want to see them when it's real football. When we go play on Saturdays or Friday nights over in that stadium, you know, it's not Skelly. It's 11 on 11, and there's guys chasing the quarterback and coming after him who are really good football players. And so our 11 on 11 football, as I said earlier, needs to get better consistency with the quarterback position, but also the people around him. Let's make some plays to help them out.
What do you hope to accomplish on Wednesday and kind of your last true normal practice before the
Thursday?
spring game?
What is that,
Excuse
Wednesday?
me,
Thursday?
yeah.
I was going to say you're throwing me
one,
off.
Sorry.
Okay. Thursday, much like today. You know, we were in here for about 19 periods. We'll have some good emphasis on special teams. I thought we handled the punt drill today as good as we have, which is a vitally important special team, which we all know. Some crossover, offense, defense, one more shot at the individual time. So just a standard operating procedure practice. We'll take about the last 15 or 20 minutes and break down into our teams, the orange and the white team, and then discuss what we're going to do. You know, we'll be a little more vanilla on offense and defense than we have been in the prior scrimmages for sure. So we'll explain to the kids what is going to be ran and kind of what's and make sure we explain to the coaches what's allowed, because they'll bend the rules. I promise you. At some point, some coach is going to bend the rules to try to win. I promise you.
How have you felt that Nall's kind of acclimating to that pretty heavy workload that you guys have for him right now?
It's been a transition for him. And, you know, I thought he started off spring just going like crazy and, you know, really showing up every day. And you walked off the practice field on offense, defense, or special teams, and you could look up and you say, wow, that Ryan is really, you know, impressing us. I've told him this also. I think he's kind of, it's been a little bit of calmness in the water for him. Not really in a good way. He needs to show us every day when he walks out of here that, wow, there he is again, wow, there he is again. So he's grown into it. He understands it. I thought he had the best day he's had in over a week today. He showed up in the special teams drills. He showed up at tight end. You know, we've kind of backed off on the running back deal. We'll see where that goes in the fall. But he's handling a lot in a very, very difficult situation for a freshman. But I'm not going to take the pressure off him. I expect him to be a very good player for us next year, and he needs to be if we're going to be a good team. He's a talented young man, and he can handle it. He had a tough high school coach. He has a tough dad. He can handle a little aggressiveness and a little adversity.